In this video, I'll be going over all of the generic cards from Heroic Masquerade. Okay, let's get started then. Quick warning, 3 of the cards have not been added into the game as the time of this recording, so we don't have the English versions of them. We've only got the Kamen Rider artworks and stuff, blah blah blah. The card effects will be the same. Anyway, let's get started with Arc Mask of Sanctity. When destroyed, 8 cost, 8/2. When destroyed, banish one of your opponent's minions with a when summoned or when morphed effect. Then a copy of that minion banished by this effect enters your field. When attacking once per turn, this minion enters the active state. I think this card's pretty good, but blue doesn't really give a fuck about it because they'll just shove it into base. That's not ideal. White probably just banish it. So that's not ideal, though the removal they tend to want to be using more is a destruction-based one, and green would probably destroy it, to be fair. They would probably either they'll let it through or they'll let block or something, so potentially there. But, you know, the problem is just, I think this card's good. However, it's really expensive, and the trade-off for that is, whilst it is a really powerful effect, it's also really dependent on what your opponent is playing and what your opponent has on the board at that point in time. As a coming from behind card, it's not great because it is a when destroyed effect. If this was an on play, now you're talking, that'd be pretty crazy. But it's a when destroyed. It's still good. It's just really hard to justify basically not doing anything in your entire turn in playing this. So yeah, the artwork is fucking phenomenal though. I think this is probably the best art in the set, tied with this card, Mukuro Mask of Bones. This is a mask and a skeleton, so relevant for Andros Thonk. When summoned, return any number of cards belonging to the mask class from your hand to the bottom of your deck. If you do, draw the same number of cards, so it's a decent filter. And passive, whenever one of your minions with a when morphed effect is destroyed, that card is returned to your hand. So, again, interesting. It's one of those consistency cards. It is in mask decks strictly better than Platona because it's cheaper, and I think it has the same stats, and it has a passive that's interesting. So it's strictly better. Do you run it in mask decks? A lot of the lists I've seen actually don't run it. Some of them do. I'm pretty 50-50 on it. I think it's good. It's just, you know, it can help fix your hand if you've got a lot of jank in it. But, you know, if you've got nothing that you want to put back, then this is a super dead card. So, yeah. But it is useful because if you're drawing like your one-offs and stuff you want to morph into, you can just send them right back, which is nice. So yeah, I think this card's also pretty good. And then Eos Masked Knight, another one of the amazing artworks from the set. When summoned, return all minions with the when morphed effect to the hand. Trash at the end of the turn. If you have a colour minion belonging to the mask class on your field, this card enters the field. This effect can't stack. I think this card is a bit wild. You know, masks have taken over the meta, so this is just something in any other deck you can just go, okay, well I'm just going to put this in here, and now when I'm against a mask deck and he's got his whole board and he thinks he's well sick, I can just fucking play it and bounce everything and just go for the kill, which is really valuable. Because the mask decks tend not to have particularly good defense. A lot of the good, nice stuff is, you know, blocking with big minions and pressuring and stuff like that. So it can be pretty good. And then obviously in a mask deck, you also just get a free 6/2 literally every turn to block with, which is obviously good. So yeah, I think this card is being a bit underrated right now. I've not seen super many people run it. I think it's really good, and that's definitely not because I crafted 2 premium versions of it. Definitely not. Okay, now onto the consistency cards, which are making a big part of why the mask decks are so good. First we've got Axella, Mask of Fire. Base when retreating, return 1 green or neutral card belonging to the mask class to the bottom of your deck. If you do, draw 1 card. So this doesn't specify from where. You would think from hand, I suppose. This might be an issue with this card on here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and check that real quick. Yeah, it is hand, as I thought. Good card, solid card. Then we've got One-Eyed Barret. Based on retreating, look at the top card of your deck. If it is a blue or neutral, you can return the card to either the top or bottom of your deck. Otherwise, put the card on the bottom of your deck. So stacking your draws is interesting. I don't think this is better than some of the other options in blue, like Jelly Girl and stuff like that. So that's really why this card doesn't see play. It's also generic, so you don't want to be running too many generic early game things, because a big reason why some one costs are so useful is to color fix, and you don't want to give up that color fixing. And it's another big reason why you tend not to see Axella being played either, even though it's a really solid card in my opinion, because of Mizzle the Diver, who is fucking crazy. When summoned, you can reduce your movement by 1. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 base minion belonging to the Mask class and place it in your base in the rest state, then shuffle your deck. I mean, surprising no one, this is a staple 3 of. It's deck thins, you get to choose, it color fixes technically. The only downside is if you play this going first, it doesn't do anything ever, but like whatever. Then we've got Volk01 Shooter Mode. On your turn, if your opponent has more minions on the field than you do, the basic cost of this card while in your hand is reduced by 1. So going second, this is going to cost 1. And on your turn, whenever this minion deals damage, it can morph into a neutral minion belonging to the Mask and Soldier class. Well, how good is that? We'll talk about the Mask and Soldier stuff. So far, I haven't really seen this being run in many decks outside of Fun, but I think there's some potential. Volk01 Assault Mode. On your turn, whenever this minion deals damage, it can morph into a neutral minion belonging to the Mask and Soldier class. I will now stop reading that effect on all of them. When destroyed and when morphed, if you have a minion belonging to the Mask class in your base, draw a card, so it's drawing. That's good. Gorilla Mode. On your turn, if your opponent has more minions on the field than you, the basic cost of this card is reduced by 2, so you'll get to play it for 3. And on your turn, whenever this minion... and it morphs. So yeah, nothing... It doesn't do anything really special for you on morph, so not super good. Besides, it's big, but not that big. Then we've got Valk Eolia RC. Base when retreating, banish all white and neutral cards belonging to the Mask class in your trash. If you banish one or more cards, draw 1 card. And passive, which means the rest state when it's base. I also think this card is very solid. You are pretty much never going to actually need those cards in your drop once they're there, so yeah, this is nice. Then we've got Valk Eolia LH, 4-cost swoop. When summoned, all your opponent's minions lose 100 BP for the duration of this turn. This would have been probably staple in literally every deck if Golem Summoning was still running around, but now it's not, so pretty useless. And that's it for now, because we'll have to go over to Game With and take a look at new cards, which are these, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see the artworks a bit better. So first we've got this 3-cost. This is 3/1. When summoned, draw 2 cards. After that, return 2 cards randomly to the return 2 cards you choose to the bottom deck randomly. On attack, you can destroy a 1-cost mana in your base. If you do, put a colorless mana in your base and activate this minion. The second effect is if you're destroying a neutral thing, totally cool. That's good value. If you're destroying a colored thing, that's a no. I think that's pretty bad value. But the when summoned effect is obviously fantastic. Now, it is better than Mukuro, I think, because it's actively drawing you and helping you filter. And this is a nice thing to play on curve. Mask decks tend not to have anything super spectacular to play on turn 3, so this is just a nice thing to run. I think you will see this at 2 to 3 in pretty much every mask list. It's also completely generic, so you might just see this run in a lot of stuff. Okay, then we have got this 4-cost. When this attacks, rest one of your opponent's coloured minions. Continuous, or rather passive. If you have 6 or more mana with masked, so that's pretty likely, this minion receives resurge, infiltrate, all of the effects. The Google Translate here is Google Translate's translating as attack, penetrate, restart, sneak, and destroy, and plus 300 BP and plus 1 DP. I forgot the proper names, but it's all of the effects. Like it's all of them. Revenge, Pierce. It's all of those. Which is obviously a bit fucking wild, because then it's a 9/2 with all of that for 4, which is phenomenal. And also another passive. your coloured minions that are masks cannot be selected as a target for your opponent's effects. So again, this is probably going to be another staple in mask decks. It seems way too good not to be. It just seems so strong. And then finally, 7 cost. Now this is a masked soldier, which means you can transform into it through the generic stuff, which means there is some potential for that to now be run. On attack, you can move 1 mana from your base into the field and then put it in the active state. And then when it transforms, reduce your movement by 1, and then put any field minion card from your deck with masked into the base in the rest state. That's really good because then obviously, you know, you can transform into this and then you put the thing in. And I think it's worth checking. We won't know until this comes into game, but potentially the way this could be really good is if you attack with one of your soldier things, whatever. Actually, let me real quick get that up, and we can see if that is a thing that's even viable or possible. Let's find out together with the blue base minion. This one. No, okay, it's only blue. Never mind. That would have been cute, but yeah. Look, the point is, you ramp yourself when it transforms, and when it attacks, if you can basically just reactivate it and get it going, you're going to pull that out and immediately put it in the active state, which is obviously really, really scary. And even generically, this is like good. Definitely the worst one. These two are absolutely crazy, but yeah, super good stuff. So yeah, that concludes the set review for all of Heroic Masquerade. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, please leave a like. Please comment your thoughts on any of the cards or anything in general. You know, fucking comment section. Do that. Please sub to the channel, hit the red button, get me to 1k subs, would really appreciate it. And check out the links in the description. There's Discord servers and all that kind of stuff. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. Cheers.